Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, I just went out and I grabbed a bunch of old DC comics. I didn't intend to have any particular theme, but it does seem to have a theme of the Bat and the Kryptonian here. Now, these are ranging from Golden Age to early Bronze Age, mostly Silver Age. And it'd be some fun to look at. Then we're going to start off here with this one. This is probably my oldest Batman book. Is Detective Comics number 167 from 1951. And I don't even know where I got this. I've had it for ages. And of course it's in rough shape, so when I did get it, if I bought it, it was didn't cost very much. I'm thinking it was in the batch of Golden Age Captain Marvel books that someone gave me when I was a kid, that had been in their garage for a couple of decades. And I think that's where it came from, but I am not positive on this. Now, of course, this is it's a 52 big pages with a 10-cent cover price, and so nice cover illustration. I don't know who it is. If you happen to know, let me know, because this time they didn't allow credits and stuff. So it says, take a thrilling trip through time with Batman and Robin when they become bodyguards for Cleopatra. Yeah, it's not even Silver Age yet, and there were already, of course, the late 40s, both Superman and Batman stuff was just inundated with silly stuff. And this is another one of those silly things. I mean, but it's fun reading. So, and even the interior art is very nice and very lovely. Like on the cover here, lovely depiction of Cleopatra, as well as on the inside, and of course that classic Golden Age Batman stylization. And doesn't matter. They somehow get transported through time and wind up being bodyguards or saving Cleopatra from something. I don't remember. It's been ages since I read this. But being Detective Comics, that's the only Batman story. And because remember, back then, Detective was an anthology title of Impossible But True. The people who couldn't grow old. And what else have we got? We've got a Robot Man story. This is the original Robot Man. And he used to appear in some of these little humorous gag page text ad for Tomahawk way back then. And here's a page with Superboy promoting said how to bring Christmas cheer. Something about leading national social welfare and youth serving organizations. And then it finishes up with a Powwow Smith, Indian lawman story, which is normally a Western. Again, some nice artwork, especially on the animals, but all around really nice, really nice work, especially for the time. Then we go to Superboy. This is $113, 12-cent cover price. Another time travel. All time travel issue featuring the Superboy of 800 years ago. And so starts off with Dad Kent's boyhood. Superboy goes back in time to watch that. Then the Superboy of 800 years ago, and just some fun silliness from 1964. And, of course, all of these are going to be fairly rough conditions. Then we have Action Comics number 369. Now, this is one, I got another one in this batch, too, that had, apparently, someone had used a 3-hole punch, boom, 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 to keep their comics in a 3-ring binder, which is a nice way to protect them, but also ruin them as far as collectible value. But it leaves people like me who are more interested in having this stuff to read. Anyway, Superman's Greatest Blunder, and then you open it for the splash page, and it's kids looking at the comic book with this issue, and it has drawn by Ross Andrew. See, does it give the doesn't give it credits there, but in the second story, I think it does. Doesn't matter. And it has a Supergirl story, and it's Action Comics. Batman, Superman, and Supergirl in Action Comics. Then, that was 68, I think it was. Yeah, 68. And still in 68, 80-page giant Superman 207, the anniversary issue. Yeah, the 30th anniversary. And it's got some water damage, and I've had to tape the cover on it sometime in the past. Either that or someone else did. Classic tales featuring Superman's friends and foes. And this features earlier stuff, starting off with a Kurt Swan drawn story. And this is Superman from outer space, an alien counterpart on another planet. And of course, he looks just like Superman. And, Mr. Mixus-Pitalik. And of course, the giant size. And it's just... Kurt Schaffenberger's story here, Lois Lane story, giant Superman, all kinds of good silly stuff. Oh, I wanted to show you in that Detective Comics. I wanted to show you the back cover. Look at this. For this Christmas, be a cowboy. Daisy, 1,000 shot Red Ryder. Cowboy carbine has 2 BB guns, and it's hard to believe. $5. For one, $7 for the other. And I don't know if do they still even make BB guns? I don't know. I've got one, but it's over 50. It's about 50 years old. Then we go to World's Finest, number 183. This is 1969. Still, Superman's Crime of the Ages, still in, barely still in the Silver Age. This is after the time when Batman had been getting away from the old silliness and the 60s camp and getting more on the serious side, even though they still had some pretty silly stuff. And this is, this is Ross Andrew. Ross Andrew drew this one. And, it has apes from the future. Probably partially inspired by the Planet of the Apes movie. But it turns out it's fake. It was Brainiac and Lex Luthor in disguise. Or I think that's a Neil Adams cover. World's Finest. And another World's Finest. This is... that one was 183. This is issue 190. This is 1969, I think, or 70. Yeah, still 69. Murphy Anderson cover, Kurt Swan Murphy Anderson cover. With Kurt Swan, I think it's Kurt Swan doing the penciling on the inside. I remember reading this a long time ago from a reprint volume, and some Lex Luthor's revenge, and supposedly Superman is dead, but it's like some kind of synthetic clone, and they just put these Superman body parts in these criminals' bodies, and then it fails. Then we go to Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 121. This looks like another. I think it's another Neil Adams cover. Jimmy Olsen's Death Trick. Starts off with different Jimmy Olsen, different. See here, the 3 lives of Superman, 3 different versions of Superman, and from Krypton's past, and I think some of this was mentioned in another book. I can't remember what it was. It gave a history of Krypton. And this is the other one. Has had the 3-hole punch to be put in a binder. Then we go to Adventure Comics 397, featuring Supergirl. And this is when she was getting all different kinds of costumes. When she did the costume change from her just her regular cheerleader style dress and skirt, to a variety of different stuff. And this is kind of because it's got some supernatural stuff. This was now someone had wrote in the credits that weren't here, so they must have looked it up, because it's a story and art by Mike Sekowsky, inks by Jack Abel. And of course, this is 1970. Lots of this old Supergirl stuff, and her involved in some magical stuff, and her costume gets destroyed. She goes to see Wonder Woman, who at the time, Diana Prince, had no powers, but she had a boutique, and rigged up a fashion boutique, and rigged up a variety of different costumes for her, which she alternated through for several issues, and has second Supergirl story meets Nasty, same credits, drawn and written by Mike Sekowsky. And then we go to World's Finest, Giant World's Finest, 206. This is from, what was it, 1971? Yeah, 1971. And this is all reprint stuff. So even though it's at the early in the Bronze Age, it's all Silver Age reprint material. And Secret of the Captive Caveman. And I used to have this way back when. This is a more recent acquisition. I don't want to say what more recent is. Could be years ago. And I remember this when time travel again. Superman, Batman, and Robin go back in time. They're aliens stealing cavemen for slave labor and other stuff, and then some other reprint stuff from this early in the 60s. And I think it even has a Robin solo story. Is that in this? No, not this one. Yeah, no. It's just sheer silliness. Art by Jim Mooney on that one. But it's fun reading. Then we go with this, something with a little more serious tone to it, is Detective Comics featuring Batman and Batgirl, number 417. This is from 1973, I think it was. Yes, 1971. And of course, much more on the serious tone, and art. This is written by Frank Robbins with art by Bob Brown and Dick Giordano. And Frank Robbins was doing a lot of this stuff. And I remember Frank Robbins did, while he was doing all this comic book stuff, he was still doing the Johnny Hazard comic strip, and did that for 30 years while he was writing and sometimes drawing comic books. This is much more seriously as reporter. A journalist who does things, various occupations for a short time to write about them. And there was an actual journalist, George Plimpton, who did that stuff. And even had a movie made about his experience when he became an NFL football player, and he played in one football game. Well, this is the same kind of thing, but this guy starts off as a boxer, and then he wants to be Batman for a night. and Batman goes along with it and checks him out. The Batman we know and love would never have done that. Yeah, so tough noogies, but it made for a good story, and is much more on a serious tone because that reporter's sister winds up getting killed in the process. Then Batgirl and A Bullet for Gordon, again written by Frank Robbins, this time with art by Don Heck. And then Armchair Detective Alfred is an Armchair Detective story. And then that's an old reprint, another reprint, Mystery that Edgar Allan Poe solved. Some nice artwork in there. And then we're going to finish up here with giant-sized Superman 239 featuring Superman's greatest battles. And again, these are all reprint stories from the Silver Age. Like starting off here with Hercules, and this was from Action Comics 267, and it had been continued into 268, so it has the entire story here. Hercules in the 20th century. This is drawn by, they don't give credit, Wayne Boring, no writing credits. And some nice Wayne Boring. Now, when I was young, I was not a Wayne Boring fan at all. Did not care for his art until when I got a copy of DC Showcase trade paperback, reprinting the black and white stuff, and it was almost all drawn by Wayne Boring. And that's when I saw his stuff in black and white, I really got to appreciate this quality and skill of his artwork when I could see it without the color. And yeah, now I'm a Wayne Boring fan. And the second one is Showdown Between Luthor and Superman on Another Planet, drawn by Kurt Swan. That's from '63. And then, some interesting stuff. Map of Krypton and the hemispheres. And just some nice fun stuff. Of course, it's got Titano. It's a classic story about Titano. Had to do apes, especially giant apes, whenever they could. Always made for a big seller. So that's all I've got to share with you this time. Some classic Golden Age, Silver Age, and very early Bronze Age DC Comics. And there's all a lot of fun, silly, even with the silliness. So I do thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments down below. And remember, comics are art.